You can't believe what you see anymore, folks. You can't believe what you see. Welcome back to the show. Be sure to subscribe. Let's get right to it. First topic, California Governor Gavin Newsom claims Trump never called him during all the riots in California, and then Trump brought the receipts. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
Going on between Gavin Newsom and President Trump. Gavin Newsom, after President Trump said in the noon hour in the Oval Office that he called him yesterday or the other day, Gavin Newsom tweeted the following. He said, quote, "There was no call, not even a voicemail. Americans should be alarmed that a president deploying Marines on our streets doesn't even know who he's talking to." Well, President Trump contacted me from Air Force One on his way to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, where he'll be in just a little while. He said the first call to Gavin Newsom was not picked up. The second call Gavin picked up. We spoke for 16 minutes. I told him to essentially, quote, and this is quoting the president, "get his ass in gear and stop the riots, which were out of control more than anything else. This shows what a liar he is. Said I never called." So here is the evidence. And here is the call log that the president sent me from his phone. This was June the 7th. Now, granted, this was on Saturday. But look, there's 1:22 o'clock in the morning. Which would have been 10 o'clock at night, 10:22 at night, California time. There was an outgoing call for 4 seconds. And then there was an outgoing call for 16 minutes. So that from the president, which says is proof that he spoke to Gavin Newsom early in the morning, our time, late at night, Friday night, would have been June 6th, I guess, in Los Angeles.
Yeah, so it just goes to show you that Gavin Newsom is a total scumbag who will just lie about whatever and just to push his narrative and make himself look good. And then when somebody brings the receipts like Trump did, you know, he just won't even acknowledge it. You know, oh, that's in the past. That's in the past. That's the type of guy he is. When somebody calls out his bullshit, it's just, oh, whatever. It doesn't matter anymore. We've moved on, you know, and that's why Trump calls the guy Gavin Newsom, because he does things like this. It just shows that he will do anything to push his agenda or his narrative on a state and just completely destroy it if he needs to destroy it, right? I mean, that's what he's doing. California is being completely destroyed, and it's basically all because of Gavin Newsom. So, I mean, if you don't know the guy yet, folks, I mean, let this, you know, be an example why you should never vote for the guy ever again, because you know he's making a presidential run in 2028, and hopefully this whole California riot situation, the fires, would just completely put an end to anybody's thought of voting for the guy in any sort of election going forward. But all right, let's get to the next topic. So LA Mayor Karen Bass is asking for people's help to clean up LA so they're ready for the World Cup. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
Especially of the graffiti that is just blanketing a number of blocks has been extensive. We are 1 year away from the World Cup. This is about beautifying our city and bringing our city together. And so I am calling on business leaders, community leaders, faith leaders to come together downtown in the next few days to talk about how we are going to clean up the city. Obviously, city workers are already out there removing the graffiti, but this is so extensive, it's going to take community-wide involvement. We had launched a program called Shine LA a couple of months ago in preparation for the World Cup, and now we are called on to direct that citywide. We need people from all over the city to come to downtown and to help with this effort.
First of all, do you think LA still deserves the World Cup after all this crap? I mean, they should be stripped of the World Cup to say, yeah, no, we're not going to LA. We know you got SoFi. It's a great stadium, but since you decided to do nothing, Karen Bass, and just let all these riots go and, you know, pretty much facilitate these riots by telling the LAPD to stand down for like a couple days, yeah, we're not going to let you have the World Cup now. So we're not going to let that money go to your city, all that revenue of people coming in, staying, and we're just going to screw you over because you decided to be the moron who didn't want to, you know, quell the violence, right? And we all know Latinos, right? They love their soccer and they love the World Cup, and why not make them travel to have to go see their beloved Mexico play, you know, L3 or whatever the hell they call them. But yeah, it's just, screw you asking for people now to come help the cleanup efforts. Like, what a slap in the face, right? I just let people destroy everything, but now I want everybody to come help clean it up. It's just, screw you, Karen Bass. You're one of the worst mayors of all time, and you've completely destroyed your city. But all right, let's get to the next topic. So Representative Maxine Waters claims that she was on the ground during LA and didn't see any violence going on. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
And even those who were out of step with what we are advocating, peaceful protest, did not create any violence. Nobody was shot, nobody was killed. Get it in your head. And so when martial law is called, what are you going to say? I missed the point. Don't miss the point, you all. Don't think that somehow, because they called out the National Guard, there was violence. There was no violence. I was on the street. I know. And I went from downtown detention back out into the community, talking to people what happened in Paramount, what happened in Compton, what happened in Inglewood. So, first of all, get it straight. And don't just rely on what you're being told or the few incidents that you saw.
Yeah, so once again, you have a Democrat who just hates Donald Trump and will create a narrative around hating Donald Trump, and that's exactly what she did. And how do people believe this woman? I mean, oh, you were really on the ground? You, like an 80-something-year-old woman, was on the ground in LA during the riots, and oh, you just happen to not see any violence in all the videos that you're seeing out on the internet and X, so don't believe those. Those aren't even real. That's basically what she was saying. Don't believe what you see, believe what I'm telling you. And that is essentially the Democratic Party in a nutshell. Don't believe what you see, just believe what we're telling you, because what you see is probably misinformation, but what I'm telling you is real, and it's completely believable, and it's the truth, you know. But when it's completely not the truth, that's the usually 98% of the time, if a Democrat in this position, like a Maxine Waters, is telling you something, it's going to probably be pure bullshit. But they say it's real, and, you know, oh, you can't believe what you see anymore, folks. You can't believe what you see. But all right, let's get to the next topic. So a congressman completely destroyed the 23andMe CEO for making her employees use crazy pronouns. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
Here's a tweet that you guys put out in June of 2021. I just want to ask you, what does E mean as a pronoun? It's E.
To be honest, I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you know what M means as a pronoun?
I'm also not sure.
Okay. Don't you think it's important to know what these mean? You guys are, in this post, you wrote, or somebody on your comms team wrote, that using the correct pronouns impacts trans people's health, can reduce the risk of depression and suicide. That's a pretty serious claim. It seems like if you're going to demand people use these pronouns, you would know what they mean, right?
Mm-hmm. I delegate. 23andMe had a lot of people. We had six,
Right.
7.
You were CEO though, right?
I was CEO, but it doesn't
Okay.
mean I can oversee every single post.
Well, this is a very, very politically charged post that you guys put out. I would think that you would have a view on that. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us what is the difference between Z and Z? One of them is ZE and one is XE.
I'm not up to speed on that.
Okay. Does it concern you that not understanding this might increase the risk of depression and suicide amongst trans people?
I support my research team that felt that, you know, it's important for us to be inclusive of everybody, and it was very much grounded.
I agree, but it doesn't seem very inclusive if you don't know what they mean, right?
I respect the social team and the research team that put that post together.
Mm-hmm. But you don't know what any of these pronouns mean, but you guys are promoting it.
I assume it's different ways people like to be referred to.
First of all, go ahead and let me know if you think that CEO knew about this whole forced pronoun situation. It's just so funny how these companies, they don't even know what they're forcing their employees to do, yet they'll just always choose woke, right? So rather than having like a great employee environment, great employee morale in the office, they'll choose to side with like the one person who's trying to force their pronouns on everybody as some sort of control mechanism over the entire office. So like if somebody doesn't do something they don't like, they could just be like, whoa, this person's not using my pronouns, right? It's total control with these people. But the company would much rather, side with the one person who's forcing their pronouns on everybody, because see, that's the type of person who, if the company doesn't do what they want, they're going to go online and blast it out there that, oh my God, this is a transphobic environment, and they don't, enrich my gender ideology by using my preferred pronouns. See, they would rather just ruin employee morale and just have people pissed off in the office because they got to use these weird pronouns for one person than have that one person go out and blast that online. And see, that's just the world we're living in. Hopefully it's changing now that Trump's doing away with the whole DEI wokeness thing across the country, and people are realizing like, oh yeah, the majority of people are done with that, so we're going to stop doing that with our company. Like Target, they went away from their, pride section this year and had a pro-USA section. Let's just hope more companies do that, folks, and they don't do this pronoun, just crazy lunacy and force these types of things on their employees that just want to have a good environment with some good employee morale. But all right, that's it for today. Be sure to like, subscribe, and we'll be seeing you.